Hey everyone, welcome back to Google Workspace Recap, where we review everything new to Workspace every week. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. Special thanks to Jamf for sponsoring our show. Once again, more on that later. I wanted to take you all down a trip down memory lane. I had one hell of a throwback this morning. I went to do a support call, an IT support call for a local community member, a older individual who had gotten one of those scary sites that pops up all kinds of things that all of a sudden your computer isn't able to function, and you think you have a virus and hacked and this and that, and it tells you call Microsoft now and we'll fix the number. And he called the gentleman at Microsoft and realized it was not Microsoft, and thankfully hung up the phone and pulled the plug on the computer. Did not allow the guy to install any software, access his computer, etc. So I obviously booted up the computer, confirmed that that was actually what had occurred, then did an antivirus scan and so on. And what greeted me there on this AMD Athlon really old school computer was Google Desktop from 2012, if anybody remembers that. Complete on the sidebar with a checklist and notes and news and weather. And for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, way back in the day, Google had an extremely useful tool that was installed locally on your desktop that would index all the files on your computer because, well, let's be honest, Microsoft search indexing is worthless, has been and always will be. And Google actually made it work. Yeah. It was a really good search tool, but they also had all kinds of widgets with the clocks and, notepads and checklists and news and weather and so on. And this individual was still using it today. Steve, do you remember that?
I did. I used it all the time. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I had it on every single device that I had.
Same.
That was one of the first installs. After Chrome, it was like installing that
exactly. Yeah. And he's like, "What do you mean it's not supported anymore?" And I was like, "It means don't get a new computer because you won't be able to get it again."
Yeah, I think it was 2011 or something like that. Was probably when it was.
They discontinued support in 2012. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they stopped releasing updates for in 2011. And support for in 2012. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was concerned about. Oh, okay, is there a way to back up to Google because we're talking about Dropbox, which he also had on his machine.
Yeah.
And he said, is there a way to back it up to my Google account? And so I tried it. There was a way to sync it with your Google account at the time, and I double checked and triple checked and quadruple checked his username and password to log in, and it just wasn't working. And it all of a sudden occurred to me, oh, Google ended support for this product. They severed connection to the servers for this product. You're not going to be able to connect to it and back things up. And the only reason that things were still working on the desktop is because it ran locally on the desktop. It's not today's tools that run in Chrome and it's just loading Google Keep in the sidebar. That being said, I did manage to train and convince him to move over to Google Keep and Google Tasks. And then he had a latest generation Samsung S23, I think. And I was able to, you get the latest updates from the carrier, whatever. And so I said, look, download Keep. You're logged in already to your Google account. Here's the note that you've had on Google Desktop all this time. It's magically on your phone. And he was like, oh, wow, this is great. So, the magic of Google lives on. It's better now than it's ever been, but RIP and throwback to an old friend, Google Desktop.
Yeah, I think a lot of the functionality we have, that we saw in Google Desktop is now available, right, from all the different applications and everything in the browser and having those apps on your phone and having that flexibility to have it not just on the desktop, right, but just everywhere. And being able to, as you said, like with the Drive for desktop application, syncing files, and then having that available in Drive on your phone. So it's definitely come a long way and improved from that Google Desktop experience.
It was amazing.
Multiple devices and platforms.
Yeah, for sure. And it was amazing looking at that because on his monitor, he had a certified for Windows Vista button. And I sat down and I went, oh, God. And then it loaded into Windows 10. I was like, oh, thank God. Dealing with a relatively modern operating system, even though it was, slow as all hell because it was an AMD Athlon 2 gigahertz single core something from, a very long time ago. I think it might have been dual core, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I might have mentioned this to you once before. I don't know if on one of our episodes, but I was at one of the Google events in London a while back, and one of the questions someone asked is like, it was how many devices are you using in a given week?
Oh, we've talked about this, yeah.
You know, I think we talked
45?
About, no, it wasn't that many. I think it was over 10 or 12 or something like that I was using at the time, because I was testing so many devices. I had, my laptop, my desktop, I had, this device, I had that device, I had that phone, I had that other phone and that other phone. And,
I'm holding up several phones in front of me here
that I was using within a given week. And it wasn't just like test devices, though. It was more than that. It was actually a device that I had all my accounts, my own accounts logged into.
My accounts are logged in here.
Yeah. So it was not just that, being in tech and IT and testing stuff, but it was, I just had so many devices at that time. I think it was like 12 or 14, and won a Chromecast, I think, at the event for having the most devices in use in a given week.
Very nice. The OG Chromecast. I had one of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had one of those, and I had gotten it. I was actually living in Israel at the time, and I was back visiting my mom. And that's when it arrived. And it was my old bedroom that I was staying in, and the only monitor I had was VGA. So I was scrambling. I was like, I need to play with this thing, but I don't have a monitor for it.
Yeah, I carry Chromecast with me all the time.
Still?
When I travel.
Yeah.
Put it in the hotel room. I have a MiFi device, and that's, if I don't have a good hotel room that doesn't have like the right kind of connectivity or apps, whatever on it.
Even with those, dude, when my wife gave birth to our first and second children, I plugged it into the hospital TV, and then she had her normal TV experience in the hospital on the hospital Wi-Fi.
All right, well, let's talk about TV experiences, right? We were talking about this just before. If you remember, for those of you that have been around for a little while, there used to be those things called Palm Pilots, right? Which had infrared device, connections on them.
I gotta dig mine out.
When I traveled,
I've got other toys here, but I gotta dig that one out.
One of the HP Palm Pilots with me, and would take that with me to airports and bars and hotels, and change the TV station up on the screen by just connecting to the TV. And that was always freaked people out. Like, why is the station changing? Because Steve over there didn't want to watch that station. He wanted to change it.
Yep.
So yeah,
utilizing
I wish
the
Fred was still
IR
these days for that. Yeah.
Did you say HP Palm Pilot? Did they ever make a Palm Pilot? I don't think so.
They did.
No. When? Which one?
Yeah. HP had
HP had their own.
Yeah,
they had Windows Mobile.
It was
they had
It was,
the
it was
iPad, the Pocket PC.
What was it? HP
Pocket PC? No.
What was it called? It was the like the HP iPack. The iPack. That's what it was.
Yeah, the iPack was a Pocket PC that ran Windows.
Right.
That wasn't a Palm Pilot.
Yeah, I think I had that. I had the HP one, and I think I had a Palm Pilot as well.
Yep. I had the iPack, I had the Palm Pilot, I had the Clio, I had the Trio, I had them all. And then I went to BlackBerry.
I think I
at some point
had the HP ones actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I switched.
Which version I had.
I just constantly switched back and forth because I was selling them at the time. I was in high school, but I had a business buying and selling and unlocking and stuff like that. And so I was just regularly upgrading. And then I was pretty excited about the possibility of WebOS, and then that fizzled, and sad times.
Yeah, it was one of the iPacks for sure.
And then HP bought it.
Version I had.
Yeah.
It was one that did not have the keyboard on it. I know that much. It wasn't one of the keyboard versions, but
right.
It was one of the
4150 or something.
I think the 54,
550
maybe,
yeah,
something like the 54. Yeah, it was one of the later series, but
I got to dig all those out. I've got several of them still, but I got to.
I'm looking at
because I've got Blackberries behind me here.
50.
Right. Got to add it to the collection. I've been thinking about how to redo my setup behind me here so that I can display a couple more devices in a museum-like setup. Be fun. Get some little stands for them to sit on. Anyway, also, we talked about last week, threaded spaces. We spent a little bit of time bitching about that and the rollout there. It's not all bad, folks, but also wanted to bring up 1, 2, 3, 4, shut up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different topics here that are just things to, Steve won't even use a threaded in our own chat room. He just, it's a stream of consciousness here. So it's his silent protest. But so there's 5 things here that I want to just bring to light, bring back for all of you from the blog post that was ways ago. Just because I was seeing in some of the spaces and some of my clients, it's starting to warn people. And so we were starting to get questions about it. So in researching for that, just to give all of the details, I figured, hey, may as well share this with all of you as well. Beginning September 30th is when Google was going to start that transition. And that has begun. And I know that's begun because, again, some of my spaces for some of my clients are already showing the banner at the top that says, hey, this is going to upgrade from X to Y, and so on and so forth. Four other things here. A minimum of 2 weeks prior to the upgrade taking place, a banner, as I mentioned, will be displayed in impacted spaces, notifying users about the impending change. Users will be able to click through to the Help Center for more information. Now, any spaces that have been created since March are defaulted to the new threaded setup. So as long as nobody changed anything, those will be the new setup. Those won't have the banners. Those will be fine. But anything before that point will. Other things here is if you are using an impacted space, a space that is about to upgrade, when the upgrade commences, most functions such as sending and receiving messages will be inaccessible. However, typically this will only last a few minutes, after which users simply need to refresh the browser to access the browser tab to access the newly upgraded space. Once the upgrade is complete, the space will use inline threaded from there on out. Messages sent before the upgrade will be retained and will be arranged chronologically instead of by topic, which is what we were talking about last week. There will also be a separator titled Begin New Topic to indicate every time a new topic was started on the previous interface. And then lastly, in some cases, when people have responded on older topics, the new chronological order takes precedence. This means that messages may not appear next to the original topic, but rather according to their timestamp. When this occurs, the new response will quote the last corresponding message that it is replying to. Now, it's not that bad. I've spent a little more time with it once you actually stop freaking out and look at it and realize, oh, okay, there is a logic to this. Yes, it could have been done better. The way that we talked about it last week would have been better if they had just created threads automatically out of each of the individual topics, but they decided not to, and I'm sure that they have their reasons, but I wanted to make sure that everybody had this info here going into the next several weeks because it's coming down. It's coming down the pipe. Transition has begun.
Yeah, I just don't know how do you respond to a previous topic thread that you had? Like, there's no way
you
to respond
can't.
to
You
that
move
anymore.
forward. This is a hard break, and you just keep going.
just
I mean, you
sucks.
can, but it won't make as much sense as it did before or as it will now.
You can respond to one of the posts within that new topic.
Right.
Within that topic.
But you're still responding
section.
to that message or creating a thread from that, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But then also just the whole visualization thing of it. It's like when I click on that, I have to now have like this massively bigger screen to manage chat.
Yes, that's coming, by the way.
That's also another thing too. Like that's just
they're working
horrible.
on that.
It's just like now I have these like super tiny thread, like thin.
Yeah, I'm guessing you hide your
columns. It's
sidebar
so
and you
annoying.
use the sidebar on the right hand side in chat. You have chat in
No,
it.
I use chat as a separate app.
As
web
as
app.
a separate app, but do you have your contacts list in the sidebar on the left open?
On the left, yeah.
Okay, do you have the sidebar on the right hand side with calendar, keep, etc. open? Because that'll really shrink it down. So that'll shrink it down even further.
No,
that's
it's
how I have
closed.
it. And then when you open a thread, it's like itty bitty columns. So a couple things there. One,
Yeah, it's just
resizable
so annoying.
columns are
It's just-
coming,
it's
as the blog post does
No, but you don't
state.
It doesn't make sense to even have columns. Like it should just like open it up below it, within the same. It shouldn't open up a new column.
What do you
It
do
should
for a
be
longer
right there
thread?
within it.
You just keep scrolling,
Yeah,
I suppose.
I don't know. Like it should never have happened. This change should never have happened.
I mean,
really is what it comes down
I
to.
like.
It really should never happen. I don't like it at all. I hate it.
And this is where we
just hate
disagree.
it.
I like
really
the threaded. I like that it opens a drawer. I do think that it is now a little bit chaotic given the way that it's just slicing a window that's currently a certain size because that's how I've gotten used to using it, and now it is much harder to fit all of that into one space.
Yeah, and you don't get notified of like when there's new people commenting on it. Like you have no idea. Like it's.
Yeah. Well, we complained when they rolled out topics too until we figured out how to use it. So
Yeah.
maybe give it a couple of weeks of actually using it instead of just responding as individual messages. That being said, like by the way, I have really enjoyed using proper started from the get-go threaded rooms. It's clean. It does. It's collapsed. Yeah, because here's a topic, we're talking about it, and it says new replies in this thread. And you can see all the things down below from there. And yes, there are some parts of it that I'm like, really? Why'd they do that? Like, for example, having to click back. If I click the X to close the open thread, instead of clicking on back onto the threads window, it closes that whole pane, and then I have to go find where that was to reopen the window for the next thread that I want to see. They're working on that. They're gonna change something to that regard. We've seen some early, not so early, but beta type stuff that's out there. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that or not, Steve. But they're definitely taking this whole thing into consideration, and I do think that once this is all said and done, and it's going to be a little bumpy with these spaces upgrading, but overall, I think that that it is a decent experience, and I can see that you're playing with it now on our chat here over on the side.
I'm just like deleting this. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna. I'll start trying to use it the way that it's designed and see how it goes, but we'll see. I don't know.
So I think that the new sidebar is going to make a huge difference. And so that's what's talked about in the blog post, and I'll have to share that post here. Remind future me to include this in the show notes here when I'm editing. Note to the editor, because it does show in there the designs that we've shown off a number of times on the show here, where essentially you have a new home area and you have a replies area, and you can follow a lot more what's going on much easier. So
tell me, did you see the, like, how do you see the episode 38 reply that I just made right now?
So I got a notification on my phone because I don't have notifications on my computer for this setup.
Yeah,
but if I click to open,
I have to scroll all the way back up there now to
top right of the space is the little chat bubble with the lines in it for active threads. Click to open that, and you've got
bubble.
Yeah. Now you're gonna make me screen share and record this, aren't you? No,
I see it. I see it. Okay, so
well, we're talking about all this, and all the podcast folks are going, "What the fuck are they talking about?" So, but there's active threads.
So I'm in right. Yeah. There's a little icon next to like your calendar icon if you're in the top right of like
if it's
chat.
Yeah, if your threads windows is closed, yes, correct. That's exactly where it is. And for me,
I have to click into it.
It turns blue, so I know it's there. And now that I have it open on the thread that you did from episode 38, I can see it shows up as one unread. So now I reply to it, and you can see it. Does that make more sense?
Okay. Yeah, I have to click so many times to see
this. It's a lot of clicks. Agreed.
Before, it was like right in the front. It was right there.
Agreed. It's a lot of clicks. And I think that, this is not ideal. Son of a gun, I've got resizable, what do you call it? Resizable panes here. So that thing that I was just alluding to, that is mentioned in the blog post, which is why I can talk about it. Yeah. I literally just noticed that I have access to it here. So that's like within the last day or two. So how about that? Yep. All right. We have this wonderful, amazing ability, you and I, that when the episode is going to be super short because there's only 4 updates, we schmooze for an hour and a half.
We definitely are able to figure that. Yeah, we can definitely extend.
Do we have topics, or we just, you know what? Forget the updates. No more updates. It's just going to be Steve and I schmoozing and complaining about Google Workspace every week. Put your thumbs up in the comments down below if you want that to be the show from this point forward.
Yeah. We do have some updates this week. Yes, we do. We have 4 of them that came out this week. First one is that the Google Meet Series 1 Desk 27 and the Acer Chrome base for meetings devices will start to automatically adjust lighting for you. We also have another Meet update here, which is some enhancements coming to the Meet Viewer mode to improve user participation and give some hosts some greater flexibility there. And then also, it's pretty much all Meet this week. So the next one is that take Google Meet on the go with ease, and then finally the last update is that you have one-on-one video calling in the Google Meet mobile app currently available. So that was one that I'm like I've been using that for ages. I thought, I don't know, like, is this another one of those things where we've been using it for so long and we didn't realize that we had early access? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been doing like one-on-one video calling and Meet for like years. It
In
seems
mobile,
like now.
in the mobile app, we have, right? We
Yeah,
tested this like a
yeah.
year ago at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I was also going to say
did
that
this all the
about on
time
the
with
go
with
is
people
that
and
this
staff.
this enabled on mine. I was on the go and it popped up and I was like, "What's this?" And then I realized, "Oh, this hasn't been announced. I really can't talk about this yet."
Yeah, I thought. Okay, I guess we.
But
Taking that long to GA. Okay. And then
it's hard work not breaking the NDA, people. Okay.
Yeah. We thought we didn't really have anything in the news, but I did find
Nice.
something
You
here in
popped
my
something
inbox.
in here.
I did a couple days ago. I got an email about enjoying no-cost Google Cloud training, and there's a whole bunch of info that we'll share with you about, things like learning generative AI, preparing for Google Cloud certifications, and just a little information on learning more Google, search and training material for free, just like no-cost training, essentially.
Fantastic. There was
For the month of November, it looks like.
This article is written by Priyanka and
Priyanka,
Magda. Did you hear Priyanka got a promotion?
Well, I saw that, I think, from Next, wasn't it?
No, they announced it a week or two ago.
After?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's now the head honcho, I think, over there.
Yeah, staff developer advocate, I guess is what the new title is.
No, hold on. Let me find the
Something else? Is that was the article?
Yeah. No. Hold on. She's like
head of North American Developer Relations.
Yeah, I think so. Double check.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, 2 months ago. Yep.
I thought it was more recent. Maybe it was only announced more recently.
Well, her LinkedIn says 2 months, October.
So maybe it was retro.
It's like October 1.5, whatever. Yeah,
Fair. Now, Priyanka's fantastic. We love Priyanka. I only don't have her book up here.
Did you meet her when you were at Next?
Yeah, I think we met just in passing. I forgot to take a selfie. But yeah, gonna spend more time with her. No, I was gonna say I don't have my book up here because I'm studying it, so it's actually on my nightstand.
There we go. So that's what we have for you this week. 4 updates, one little thing there in the news. We'll jump into that first update.
Wait. Yeah, just after I talk about our sponsor, Jamf. Yes, you've heard us mention them before. Wanted to make sure we didn't skip this. Big shout out at this point to our friends at Jamf for making these weekly updates possible. I know I've mentioned them a few times in the past. So once again, I want to do a product spotlight on their access and identity management solution called Jamf Connect. If you're familiar with GCPW or the Google Credential Provider for Windows, that's a mouthful. You'll understand the benefit of employees using their Google identity to log into their computer. It can reduce password fatigue and eliminate IT tickets, which we all need. Well, Jamf Connect does that and so much more for the Apple devices in your company. By letting employees use their same Google identity to set up an account and log into their Mac, users can have a simpler time starting with a new company or simply starting their day. In addition to account creation capabilities, users know that they can work safely from everywhere because their connection is secured with zero trust network access. This is an amazing solution for companies with Apple devices, and it can be integrated with Google Identity and most other identity providers. If you want to learn more, of course, please do us a favor. Head over to jamf.com/workspace recap. That's jamf, jamf.com/workspace recap so that you know that they know that you heard about this on our show so that they keep sponsoring us so that we can keep doing this for all of you. Thank you very much again, Jamf. Go and check them out, jamf.com, workspace recap. Now, Steve, back to the show. I went British there. Recap. What was that? Recap.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. First update is that the Google Meet Series 1-27 and the Acer Chrome bases are getting some enhanced functionality. Where they will now automatically adjust lighting for you. So this is something that's been available on the web that has been out already, but that's now being extended to those 2 different devices. And if that device detects that your video appears to be a little bit underexposed, it will adjust that brightness to improve how you appear in the meeting. And they also plan to extend that functionality to larger meeting room devices in the future. So just for those certain device types right now, but keep an eye out for that in the near future. The release rollout pace for this one has started the 30th of October. Gradual rollout there for up to 15 days for visibility on both rapid release and scheduled release domains. And this will be, of course, available on all domains that have that hardware for them. Next is that there's again more enhancements to Google Meet, where viewer mode will be improved with some user participation and giving hosts some greater flexibility here. So with this, viewers can now send emoji reactions during a meeting, and which is kind of like a light, non-disruptive way to engage and participate in those meetings without interrupting the speakers, exactly as Jesse is visually presenting those to you there.
I'm emoting.
As we speak. Yeah, exactly. And then also, meeting hosts and co-hosts will be able to promote a viewer to a meeting contributor while the hosts are using like picture-in-picture mode. That gives hosts greater flexibility and saves time when needing to change participant rights without having to leave the picture-in-picture mode at all. And rollout pace for this is going to be available to all rapid release and scheduled release domains as of now. This will be available to just business standard, business plus, and kind of and up domains. So also with the education fundamentals, standard, teaching, learning, upgrade, and education plus customers. Doesn't mention business starter or nonprofits, but for the nonprofits, it may or may not be available. Never know. Sometimes they get that wrong, but you never know. They didn't mention it there in the update.
And that's another one there that really confused me, because when I saw the emoji reactions, I'm like, I've been doing this forever.
Yeah, I am almost certain that I've seen that on nonprofits before. Like when I was at 1871, I'm pretty sure I was doing emoji reactions like a year ago,
right,
on a nonprofit domain. So there's almost certain nonprofits have had this for a while, and
it's been public, or it seems like it's been public.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. So
it's just one of those, hey, we forgot to announce this, and so here it is. It's announced.
Maybe. Could very well be with that one.
Change log, it slipped through the cracks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So next, again, this is something, I've been seeing this for the last couple of weeks. I've been on calls in the car, and the phone is just like, my device is like, oh, are you on the go? Are you driving? Like it changes the Meet experience as I'm in the car.
Yep.
And I've had that for the last few weeks. Actually, probably months now. I've been on a lot of calls in the car. So this is, taking Google Meet on the go with ease. So there's a new simplified mobile experience to help you when you are driving. And it basically just, simplifies the interface, makes the buttons a little bit bigger. It just, tries to, not make it so difficult to kind of find that mute button, or, turn off the camera button.
It automatically turns off the camera for you.
Yeah, it just gives you like simplified, larger buttons there to get you, to those actions that you probably definitely need, rather than all the extras that you might not need when you're more stable.
For anyone who's used Zoom, can't say that word. Anyone who's used Zoom on the go in the car, this is very similar. Have you ever used Zoom in the car?
You know what? Well, I have, and it drops every single time I'm in the car. It never is stable.
I didn't say it was a good experience.
Never is stable.
All I said was that if you've used Zoom, this will look familiar, because Zoom has the interface that it moves to, like, the car interface where you have to tap on the screen in order to talk, and then you let go. It's like PTT, push
every
to
time
talk.
I drive with Zoom, it's horrible.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
It doesn't reconnect. No, Meet is so much more stable in terms of driving, and also like going up and down elevators in buildings. I'm going down an elevator for 40 floors, and I'm still connected when I don't hear it. Yes, the connection isn't like there, but once I get out, I'm back in, like automatically back in.
Yeah,
I lose connection on Zoom every single time when connectivity is a problem. It just drops it, and Zoom is a big waste of time. It's the biggest waste I've ever had.
I got to say about this though, I'm shocked it took them so long. Like, this is one of those, anybody who's in the car, this is a key feature. Is like, people have seen the shot up my nostrils from my cup holder or my phone rests, or like you're staring at my, my seatbelt over my chest here.
Half
exactly.
My face here in the back seat, the kids in the back seat, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's because I forget to turn the camera off while it's in there. So this automatically turns the camera off. Yeah. The mute button is much bigger. You can raise hand is much bigger. Audio options is much bigger, and the hang up is much better, much bigger. So
Yep. Just displaying that key information, who the active speaker is, number of people on the call. The video's automatically turned off. I like the video on. I don't mind it automatically on, but I think that's good option there. And then options to view the presented content as well. So rollout pace for this one, has started a couple days ago on the 1st of November. That will be rolling out on a full rollout pace up to with 1 to 3 days for visibility on both rapid release and scheduled release domains. And this will be available to all Workspace customers as well as those with personal Google accounts. And then finally, we have that one-on-one video calling with Google Meet mobile app being, GA'd, I guess. This is something that, I've seen and been used for quite some time. I mean, the interface here
is different.
Is different.
I was gonna say
exactly. That's what is different. This is different. So this is, definitely an updated design. It very much mimics that kind of view that we saw from the previous screenshots with the, Meet on the go visual buttons, things like that. So now you can start to take those, kind of one-on-one cloud encrypted video calls to the mobile app. So you previously had to use to create a meeting link at a time. I've been clicking the phone icon and calling people, and it's been ringing them for like over a year now.
Yeah, we tested that a long time ago.
So yeah. But this is now GA, so you'll be able to call people, make it work just like it did before when Meet was Hangouts, right? When you were able to call people. So that now is available here to you in Meet. And there's going to be a little bit of info here for admins as well as end users. There's a little note here about introducing admin controls to restrict inbound calls next year. They'll be able to provide an update. We'll see an update on that when that comes out. And then for it's just like turning on legacy calling enabled for users, they'll have access to features previously found in Duo. And then for end users, Meet calls do not include legacy calling features found in Duo, but those continue to be available if you have not upgraded to the new Meet app and are using legacy calling. There we go. Rollout pace for that one on iOS devices started the 2nd of November on an extended rollout pace, potentially longer than 15 days for visibility for both rapid release and scheduled release domains. And then Android users had that start the 14th of November. We'll have that starting on the 14th of November on an extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for feature visibility for both rapid release and scheduled release domains. And it's available to all Workspace customers there.
Clarification here. Admins, it says if you have legacy calling enabled for your users, they will have access to features previously found in Duo, such as group calls, messages, moments, family mode, etc., if they have not upgraded to the new Meet app. And then it says for end users, Meet calls do not include legacy calling features previously found in Duo, such as group calls, messages, moments, family mode, knock, knock. But those continue to be available if you have not upgraded to the new Meet app and are using legacy calling. Huh?
I don't know. Have a closer look at that, and it's a little bit. I don't know. I
test it.
Basically, I mean, hopefully not too many people are using Duo anyways with Workspace, so it's insignificant for most things.
I guess there's a nuance there that is escaping me because honestly, I used Duo once, so I'm not even familiar with knock knock. Wasn't that the thing that they talked about at I.O. where you could they could see your feed before they answered the call or something?
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
Okay.
Yep.
It's good. I remember the keynote from I.O. That's how I'm aware of these features.
Do you want to run through the little news article there? I know that was one that I added.
Oh my God, we finished the updates already.
Talk about it. Yeah, that's it. Updates are done.
I was waiting for you to say next and go on to the next one.
Yeah, we are done. We are done.
Okay, well, I didn't actually even really read this because Steve added it and I hardly noticed. Develop your cloud skills this November with no cost to training. This is from the Google Cloud Training and Certification team. And let's just see, they have a couple of things here that are foundational level courses to help you learn about Google Cloud technology and how it can benefit your organization, comprised of videos and quizzes. You should be able to finish them during part of a morning or afternoon when you have a bit of extra time. You can complete all 4 courses below to help you prepare for the Cloud Digital Leader certification if you haven't already gotten it. You've got digital transformation with Google Cloud, innovating with data and Google Cloud, infrastructure and application modernization with Google Cloud, sensing a trend here. Understanding Google Cloud security and operations. And then they also have some new ones for generative AI. They have a mix of options to help you learn about generative AI as this area of technology becomes more available. So you have Introduction to Generative AI, Gen AI Bootcamp, which I've been hearing a lot about behind the scenes. So that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And then you also have Generative AI with Google Cloud, getting started with Model Garden on Vertex AI. And let me just scroll down here and see if there's anything else over here. There's other. Go on.
I think the main thing, there's a live event coming up in 2 days. Whether or not you'll see that, it'll be on the 8th.
It'll be in a day when I get this out. Yeah,
correct. Yep.
That's it for this week. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter. Drop your comments and questions down below. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe wherever you're listening, wherever you get your podcasts as well. Thanks for coming back to listen to us every week. And we'll continue doing this throughout the end of the year. And then onwards, we are coming up on, what are we at, 200 episodes, I think? We're getting close.
200, like one.
No,
we're at 150.
Are we only at 150? It feels like we're getting...
Yeah, it's 50 years. So this is the third year, so 150.
It's the third year, but then we have a whole bunch of other funky stuff in the middle and, other episodes here and there. It's time to do the math again. Time to figure that out.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But that's all for this week. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.